Okay, now we are ready to start answering our questions about Swallows, the restaurant. So, Swallows needs to choose from the quantities of output given in the table. What is the profit maximizing level of output for Swallows? Explain how you know. Well, there's two ways. One is you can just look at the table and you can see, well, where's profit maximum? Right here, right? Now, we're assuming for the purposes of this problem that they have to serve meals in increments of 100. They're going to serve one of these quantities based on and which one they choose is going to determine how many chefs or how long their chef has to work, how many wait staff that they hire, and all of that, how much food that they order, and everything, right, that goes into serving meals in a restaurant. So we're going to assume that they can't do anything in between here. So it's very easy to see that they're going to maximize their profit at a quantity of 400 meals served and a price of $10.60 per meal. Now, if you didn't have this table, and this is important because a lot of times you're just going to have the graph. You're going to look at where marginal cost, the blue, right, intersects marginal revenue, which is above 400 and below 500. Now, if we move up to 500, we can see that, which is right here, we can see that marginal cost is way above a marginal revenue. That's not what you want. You would never operate at that point. So you would take the nearest point to where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, which is about, what's that, about 420 in quantity, and you would drop back to 400, which is right here, and you can see at 400 marginal revenue is well above, which is in purple, is well above marginal cost right here. So that's going to be where you would where this restaurant would operate right here. Okay. Now, let's look at our answer to make sure we're on the right track. Our answer is yes. So they want to produce where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, but since there's no point where that equality holds, they're going to go for the closest point where a marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. Okay, so that's the answer there, and I showed you how you could see that both on in the table and the graph. Okay, now number two, how much will the restaurant earn in profits? Well, that's really easy. We can just go to our table and see that it's 700 right here. Okay, and you can also see it by if we look, this is where the difference between total revenue and total cost is the highest because that's what profit is. And we can also see that on the second graph down here. If we take that point 400 and move it down here, we can see that this is total revenue in orange. This is total cost in green right here. Okay. So you can see that the profit is this area from here to here is profit, and that ends up being 700, and that's the point where it's the greatest. And so you can see it here on the graph. Total cost is in green, and here you can see that two four I'm sorry 4,240 minus 3,540 is 700, and that is shown on the graph at a output of 400 right here. The difference between your total cost in green and your total revenue in orange, where it's bowed out the most, that is that point where they're going to operate for maximum profit. Okay, now number three. Should the owners of Swallows worry about other restaurants opening in the neighborhood? Explain how you know. Well, let's see. That's going to depend on how far above or below price is than average cost. So where they're going to operate right here at 400, you can see the price is well above average cost. You can also see it in the table right here. Price is $10.60. Average cost is $8.85. Therefore, there is economic profit being made. Now, once again, remember, in any graph like this, whether it's a perfect competitor or a monopolistic competitor or a monopoly, sorry, I didn't mean to scroll up, or a monopoly, the total cost is always going to include economic cost, okay? Or not economic cost, opportunity cost. So we're talking about economic profit. So they're earning a substantial economic profit here. This 700 is economic profit. So that means that there is room in the market for more restaurants in the area to open up. So yes, they should be concerned about that. They should be concerned. So let's just jump over here to the answer so you can see it in writing. Yes, the owners should be worried. Swallows is making an economic profit. Price is greater than average cost. So other restaurant owners will see an opportunity to enter the market and make profit. Okay, number 4. Okay, I think I'm going to do through 5 and then do this second 5 on another video so we don't go too long with this. So number 4, let's assume that 2 restaurants do open in the neighborhood. What will this do to Swallow's demand curve? Well, if 2 more restaurants open in the neighborhood, that is going to shift the demand curve to the left. And just so you understand how this works, when the demand curve shifts, the marginal revenue curve shifts with it, because there's going to be other choices for folks in the neighborhood to eat somewhere else besides Swallows. So Swallows will suffer a lower demand. So demand will shift to the left. Okay, so let's just go back over here and just see what I put here. Yes. Okay, easy enough. Okay, now question 4. 5, I mean. In order to stay in business, Swallows must adjust to its new demand curve. See new price on your spreadsheet. Now, what is the profit maximizing level of output for Swallows, and explain how you know. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to come down and we need to copy the new price out, which you can see is lower. The price is lower because Swallows is having to drop its price in order to keep its business. So the price is lower, so we're going to take this price right here, we're going to copy it out, so we're going to left click and drag, and either Control C or copy, and that's a right click and a left click copy, and then we're going to put that price in here, and you're going to see the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve shift left. Okay, so when I go paste, see, boom, left shift. Okay, now we are at a point. Now if we look at it, we can see that marginal cost crosses marginal revenue right here. So if we move up from that point, we're going to go back. So actually, I'm going to save that part, which I think is question number 6, right? For the next video, we'll pick up and we'll look at exactly where Swallows is going to operate with the new demand curve, which is lower, and the new marginal revenue curve as well. Okay.